severability clause, required to be treated as a whole. Again, for the third time, it's required to be treated as a whole, and all parts are to be read and construed together. This language was the product of lengthy and at times challenging negotiations. I certainly thank Senator Hannan for his participation. He's an extraordinarily capable attorney and wordsmith, and similarly Senator Lanza. I could only speak in the most extolling terms for both of their efforts. And lastly, I would again thank the governor for spending the enormous amount of time that he committed to try and recognize, in our effort to recognize, the importance of maintaining these religious exemptions. Having said that, Mr. President, I would merely like to add on a personal note that I have, as many people are aware, certainly struggled over this issue. It has been an extremely difficult issue to deal with. Coming from a rather traditional background and being married for some 46 years and being raised by parents who preached to me the importance of tolerance, respect, and acceptance of others, and of course, as I'm sure all of our parents taught us, always to do the right thing. My quandary was all of the folks who wrote me the thousands and thousands of letters and emails and thousands of telephone calls, they all asked me to do the right thing. And I'm not quite sure I can do the right thing by both the proponents and the opponents. And needless to say, my decision on this bill is going to disappoint a significant number of people. But I can say that my intellectual and emotional journey has ended here today, and I have to define doing the right thing as treating all persons with equality, and that equality includes within the definition of marriage. And I fear that to do otherwise would fly in the face of my upbringing. As I said, I understand that will probably disappoint many. I know my vote is a vote of conscience, and I certainly am at peace with my vote. It was a struggle. There was extraordinarily deliberation, and I feel that were my parents here, they would tell me that I would have done the right thing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Sland. Senator Diaz?
Senator Salan yield for a question or two. Mr. President, would Senator Salan yield for a question or two?
The Senator chooses not to yield, Senator Diaz.
He chooses not to yield.
The Senator chooses not to yield.
I intend, Senator Diaz, no disrespect. I think I've clearly laid out the purposes of the bill.
Mr. President, that is not an indication that he feels ashamed to support what he's saying.
So he's getting out of order now.
Senator Diaz, it's...
People, Mr. President, people might take this as Senator Salan, a Republican, is ashamed of supporting what he's presenting.
Respect your comments, but Senator Salan is exercising his rights not to
Thank
yield
you,
to
Mr.
this discussion. Seeing no other senators rising to debate on amendment number 1548, this debate is closed. Everybody's in their seats. No need to ring the bell. I'd ask the secretary to call the roll. Sorry, read the last section first.
Section 4, this act should take effect on the same date as chapter of the laws of 2011.
Call the roll.
Adam C. Francisco Libis, Sam Siskel Zeldin.
Senator Diaz to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just have a release from the Catholic Conference that said that the matter of a religion exemption has been and continue to be a secondary issue that in no way not negates the fact that this bill is bad for society. This was issued tonight by the Catholic Conference, and I believe that Senator Salan and Senator Lanza, they're all Catholics. I don't know if they agree with the Catholic Conference, with what they're saying tonight, but I'm voting no.
Senator Diaz be recorded in the negative. Senator Hannan to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. While I will not be voting for the bill in chief, I will be voting for this because of the importance of the exemptions that were placed into the main body of law by this amendment. We had looked at the basis for statutes on marriage in the state, the rational basis that the state has acted upon, and we looked at the unique context that these religious exemptions have with the right that is going to be granted by the main bill. And it is clearly the intent of this body and the intent of this bill that the provisions are inextricably intertwined, and that if the religious exemptions were to be diminished in any way by a court, then the right granted by the main bill would also be extinguished. It's a negotiated position. It was very, very key to the whole matter of bringing this topic to this floor. And the inseverability clause is a very carefully, clear, and measured drafting decision. And because of that, we have moved ahead on this very important societal matter. Thank you.
Senator Hannan, just so I'm sure you are voting yes on the amendment. So Senator Hannan's vote will be recorded in the affirmative. Secretary will announce the results. In a moment. Secretary will announce the results.
In relation to calendar 1548, those recorded in the negative are Senators Ball, Bonasek, DeFrancisco, Diaz, Farley, Flanagan, Fuschillo, Gallivan, Golden, Griffo, Johnson, Lanza, Larkin, Laval, Libis, Little, Martins, Maziarz, Nozzolio, O'Mara, Ranzenhofer, Ritchie, Roback, Seward, Young, and Zeldin. Ayes 36, nays 26.
The bill is passed. Please sit. Ladies and gentlemen, I just would indulgence. The Secretary will continue to read.
Calendar number 1545, by member of the Assembly O'Donnell, Assembly Print 8354, an act amending the Domestic Relations Law.
Senator Skelos.
My section.
That's it. Read the last section.
Section 6, this act shall take effect on the 30th day.
Call the roll.
Adam C. Francisco Libis, Sam Siskel Zeldin.
Senator Diaz to explain his vote.
Senator Diaz to explain his vote.
I'm the bill, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, member of the New York State Senate, here we are again. For the second time, we are trying to redefine marriage. I will have to tell you that I agree with Archbishop Timothy Dolan when he said that God, not Albany, has settled the definition of marriage a long time ago. The first time, Mr. President and ladies and gentlemen, that we dealt with this issue was on Wednesday, December 2nd, 2009. On that day, the governor was the Honorable David Patterson. The President of the Senate was the Honorable Malcolm Smith. The Senate was controlled by the Democrats. The Honorable Andrew Stewart Cousin was presided over the session that day. And every member of the Republican conference voted against homosexual marriage on that day. And at that time, the bill was introduced by the Honorable Senator Tom Duane. Today, ladies and gentlemen, members of the New York State Senate, we are back to deal with the same issue, but in a different scenario. On this occasion, the governor is the Honorable Andrew Cuomo. The President of the Senate is the Honorable Dean Skelos. The Senate is controlled by the Republican Party, and today the Senate is being presided by the Honorable Robert Duffy, Lieutenant Governor of the State of New York. The bill today is being introduced by Governor Andrew Cuomo, not by Senator Tom Duane, and in a complete turnaround from 2009, when every Republican voted against homosexual marriage. It is the Republican Party that will provide the vote to pass this legislation. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the state of New York, listen very carefully and know the following. The New York gay community and their supporters are not only getting their marriage bill approved, but most important, they are making the Republican Party do what the Democrats failed to do while they were in the majority. It is unbelievable that the Republican Party, the party that always defended family values, the party that always protected traditional values.
Sir Diaz, we have a 2-minute limit.
No. That's what I say. Lay it down because I want to speak on the.
We've already gone. We did the bill debate. This is
Yeah,
the explain to vote, Senator.
You trying to succumb me.
No,
That's okay, but I laid it aside so I could speak on the bill.
We have a two-minute limit,
Yeah.
Senator.
Oh, you don't want to hear? I'm sorry. I got it. I'm speaking on the bill. It is unbelievable that the Republican Party, the party that always defended the family values, the party that always protected traditional values, the party that always defended moral values, today has become a tool of the Democratic government. Actions like these are the ones that make Sarah Palin